Smart people are supposed to win. They get good grades, they understand complex ideas, they see patterns others miss, and yet, some of the most intelligent people you know are financially stuck. Not lazy, not reckless, not incompetent. Stuck. Meanwhile, someone less intellectual quietly builds wealth, buys assets, and gains leverage. So what's happening? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Intelligence is optimized for solving problems. Wealth is optimized for tolerating discomfort. Those are not the same skill. Most smart people believe this. If I understand enough, I'll eventually figure money out. But wealth doesn't reward understanding. It rewards behavior under uncertainty. And that's where intelligence turns into a trap. Because smart people overestimate how much control understanding gives them. They believe awareness equals immunity. Doesn't. You can explain inflation, behavioral finance, market cycles, and still panic sell at the bottom. You can debate macroeconomics and still avoid investing for 5 years because you're waiting for clarity. You can calculate risk precisely and still never take any. Here's the paradox. The smarter you are, the better you become at justifying inaction. And in finance, inaction compounds just as powerfully as action. Except it compounds regret. Why does this matter? Because if intelligence alone created wealth, professors would dominate billionaires. They don't. So the real question isn't, why are some people bad with money? It's deeper. Why do intelligent people, who know better, fail to execute? And what does that reveal about identity? Smart people live in their heads. That's their advantage. And their liability. Intelligent brain doesn't move. It analyzes. It simulates. It compares. This feels productive. It feels responsible, but it often hides something else, loss aversion. Humans fear losses more than they value gains. But intelligent people experience a second layer of loss, ego loss. If they make a bad investment, it's not just money lost. It's identity damage. I'm supposed to be smart. So instead of risking visible failure, they default to invisible stagnation. They over-research. They wait for perfect timing. They demand complete understanding before acting. But markets don't reward certainty. They reward exposure. Now add present bias. Present bias makes immediate comfort feel more valuable than future freedom. And intelligence helps rationalize that comfort. I deserve this. I've worked hard. I'll start investing seriously when things stabilize. Things never stabilize. Then there's hedonic adaptation. You get a raise. Lifestyle quietly expands. Better apartment, better car, better vacations. Not because you're reckless, because your brain recalibrates. What once felt like luxury now feels normal. And intelligent people are especially vulnerable to status anxiety. They compare upward. Colleagues buying homes, peers launching startups, friends upgrading lifestyles. You don't want to fall behind socially, so you keep up. Even if it delays ownership. Even if it kills optionality. Here's a counterintuitive insight. Smart people optimize for looking intelligent. Wealthy people optimize for being patient. Those incentives conflict, and the algorithm of modern life amplifies this. Variable reinforcement. The same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive drives financial behavior. Crypto spikes, stock surges, market crashes, random rewards. Believe they can decode the pattern. But randomness doesn't reward decoding. It rewards endurance. So the intelligent brain keeps chasing insight instead of building systems. And slowly, without realizing it, knowledge becomes entertainment, not leverage. This doesn't destroy you immediately. It's quieter than that. Year 1, you hesitate. Year 3, you delay. Year 5, compounding has already chosen the side. Here's the brutal math. If you wait 10 years to start investing seriously, you don't just lose 10 years. You lose exponential growth. Compounding is indifferent to IQ. It only responds to time. And time punishes hesitation. But the damage isn't just financial. It's psychological. When intelligent people underperform financially, they experience silent cognitive dissonance. I understand money. Why don't I have any? That gap creates shame. Shame creates avoidance. Avoidance creates distraction. Now your intelligence shifts toward consumption. Podcasts about investing, threads about markets, debates about economic collapse. You feel engaged, but your net worth doesn't move because behavior hasn't changed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being financially broke while intellectually informed is a self-deception loop. You feel superior, but you're stuck. And there's something even deeper. Identity-based behavior. People act in alignment with who they believe they are. If your identity is, "I'm the smart one," you protect that identity. You don't take beginner risks. You don't admit ignorance in new domains. You don't look foolish buying index funds when you think you can outperform them. So you stall. But wealth is built through boring repetition, not brilliance. Here's another counterintuitive insight. Complexity delays wealth. Simplicity accelerates it. But intelligent people love complexity. It flatters them. Meanwhile, the quiet investor automates contributions, ignores noise, and compounds. No intellectual theater, just exposure. And over decades, that difference becomes freedom or dependence. And that's the real escalation. This isn't about money, it's about power. If you can't say no to a job, you're not free. If you can't walk away from toxic environments, you're not free. If one economic shock destabilizes your life, you're not powerful. Intelligence without assets creates fragile success. It looks impressive, but it can't absorb impact. So what needs to change? Not your knowledge. Identity. Smart people often worship being right. Wealthy people worship being positioned. Being right feels good. Being positioned creates leverage. Different dopamine. Dopamine anticipation drives much of financial behavior. The excitement of predicting, of spotting opportunity, of timing entries. But anticipation isn't ownership. Ownership is boring, quiet, systematic. This is the shift. Stop seeing yourself as an intelligent observer of markets. Start seeing yourself as an owner of productive systems. That's an identity migration. From analyst to allocator, from commentator to capital holder, from reactive to positioned. Here's the identity level challenge. Are you more committed to being perceived as smart or to being structurally free? Because sometimes those paths diverge. Stimulation. Wealth requires restraint. Intelligence seeks novelty. Wealth rewards repetition. Intelligence seeks optimization. Wealth rewards consistency. And the final layer, redefine wealth. Wealth is not income. It's not lifestyle. It's not visible consumption. Wealth is stored optionality, the ability to choose your future. And optionality grows quietly, often invisibly, while others perform intelligence publicly. Smart people don't stay broke because they lack knowledge. They stay broke because they misallocate intelligence. They aim it at analysis instead of structure, at debate instead of deployment, at prediction instead of positioning. The market doesn't care how smart you are. It rewards exposure. It rewards time. It rewards emotional regulation. And emotional regulation is not an IQ trait. Here's the synthesis. Intelligence should design systems, not override them. Use your intelligence once to build automatic investing structures, to define asset allocation, to remove friction. Then step aside. Let time do the heavy lifting, because compounding favors the boring, and boredom is intolerable for the intellectually restless. But freedom is built by those who can endure it. If you're intelligent, this is your edge. You can understand this trap. Most people never see it, but seeing it is not enough. You must accept that your greatest strength, your mind, is also your greatest risk. Final truth. You don't rise financially to the level of your intelligence. You fall to the level of your systems. And systems don't care about ego. They care about repetition. Smart people chase insight. Leverage. One feels impressive. The other becomes irreversible. Optionality is the real asset, and it compounds long before applause arrives. If this challenged you, good. That tension means you're thinking differently. Most people won't share this idea. It threatens identity. It removes excuses. If you're serious about building real leverage, not just sounding intelligent, subscribe. This channel is not about noise, it's about structural advantage. Like the video if you recognize the trap. Comment if you're choosing systems over ego. Because the shift from smart to free is a decision most people never make. Freedom is built quietly.